Welcome to this little video about the Lionsgate portal. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what that is, how we can make sense of and use the energies that are available during this time in our life, and a little bit about the Strength card, number 9 of the tarot, which is associated with the Leo season that we're in right now. And I am not an astrologer, but I would like to share from some of my direct experience with this portal and this time of year so that if something resonates, you can make it work for you too. It's an important time of the year for me too, because when I had my car accident and near-death experience, it was on August 17th, the tail end of the Lionsgate portal. So even though the Lionsgate event is 8/8, the days before and after are charged with the same solar energy. And so, so in some ways I consider myself reborn as a Leo. That's my new sun sign because I kind of had a rebirth that day of my near-death experience and ended up calling my YouTube channel Lion Spirit. And so that's my connection with it personally. In the years after my near-death experience, I ended up in 2 ayahuasca ceremonies that were 2 years apart on the 8/8 portal. I'm going to talk a little bit about those too. But just quickly, the Lionsgate portal, this is according to astrology.com, the Lionsgate portal occurs when the Fixed Star Sirius, Earth, and Orion are all in alignment. And ancient Egyptians, they didn't call it the Lionsgate portal. That's kind of like a new spiritual term that's come out. But they knew that Sirius was extremely important, and they based a lot of their lifestyle and ceremonies around the time when Sirius was the brightest star in the sky. And that happens around late summer, around August 8th. So the Lionsgate portal is kind of a combination of astrology and numerology, being the 8/8, and cosmology. And that's kind of what we're working with today's day and age. And I do want to say that, I've seen articles and videos out there talking about how the Lionsgate is, or any energetic portal is dangerous or bad to use, or you should stay away from that. The truth is energy. And if we're in an energetic portal astrologically, we're in an energetic portal astrologically. And it's up to humans what they want to do with any extra energy, whether it's solar energy that's coming through, whether it's electricity. Energy is not good or bad. It's just what we do with it. And so if we're on a spiritual path, making good use of good energy, it's just good for everybody. Okay, so next up, my experiences on the 8/8, several years after my car accident, and then again 2 years after that. I had 2 ayahuasca ceremonies. They were 2 years apart. And the ceremonies that happened on the 8/8 were completely different than any of the other ceremonies that I have ever sat in. And I would say the second most profound day of my life, first being my near-death experience in my car accident, and second being a ceremony that happened, it would have been 2021, August 8th, with ayahuasca. This ceremony took me to a realm that was, I don't want to say beyond or higher, because I think all realms are important, but a spiritual realm that was more clear, more crisp, more profound, and more home than any other ceremony that I'd ever sat in. And I remember coming out of that ceremony thinking, wow, I've sat in a lot of ayahuasca ceremonies, but I've never experienced anything quite like this. And the most important piece for me of that ceremony, and I knew nothing about Sirius, I knew nothing about the Lionsgate, none of that stuff, but the visionary experience I had started with seeing a lion that had 4 heads. And they were kind of pastel colors. And when I focused in on that lion with 4 heads, it was looking right back at me, and it was emanating a real exquisite, majestic, all-knowing, and ancient presence. And just interfacing with it and being with it, it wasn't frightening, but it was awe-inspiring. And I would later find out that Leo, we were in Leo season, it's associated with lions, this kind of thing. But more important than those lions was an experience that I had with what I call beings from Sirius. And I talk about it in my interview with JeffMara, which I can link in the description. But basically, I found myself in front of 4 or 5 tall human figures that looked absolutely ancient. And I'm just closing my eyes so that I can get this memory correct. They were tall, taller than I was. They had long gowns that had glowing moons and stars on them, kind of like navy color blue. Some of them had a long staff with a crystal on top. Long wavy hair, both men and women, kind of like a Gandalf, maybe like a Merlin feel. And even though no words were exchanged, I just knew as part of my own cosmic memory, oh, this is serious. I've been with these people before. These are part of my soul family. And no words were exchanged. Only an energy, only a feeling, only a vibration of knowing. And I'm getting shivers just talking about it. But I realized that many, many eons, not even like centuries or thousands of years, but eons ago, the Sirius star was a place, whether it was physically or just like dimensionally, because, was a place that was home for me. And there was a lot more knowledge about how the universe works, about mathematics, about geometry, about nature, about magic, about energy. There was so much, I could just remember that there was so much available to us at the time that I was living amongst these beings. And the amount of love and understanding that was emanating from them towards me was something I've never experienced on Earth. It was this full knowing where it was like, oh, these are the people that really know me. This is why I'm weird like I am on Earth. They're all like this too. And so we were a little bit outside of time, but it felt like minutes where we just were reunited energetically through our hearts. And for me, coming out of that ceremony, I remember saying to myself, I never need to sit in another ayahuasca ceremony. I now remember so much more of what I need to know. And I've remembered one part, at least, of my soul family who really knows and understands me. And it gave me the momentum to be a lot more okay with my uniqueness, my quirks, my weirdness. Because I knew that I wasn't the only one who shared these things after meeting these guys. And so, yeah, those are a couple of reasons why I feel it's an important energetic time. So the tarot card that is associated with Leo and the Lion's Gate, like I was saying, is strength. And if you're familiar with the tarot, you know that it's a woman holding open the mouth of a lion. I don't know if you can see this. This is from an older version of the tarot. Okay, and so I'm going to read you a little bit of a chapter from one of my favorite books called The Wisdom of the Tarot by Elizabeth Haish. And in this book, she's talking a little bit about the Strength card. And yeah. Beside the woman is a mighty lion with huge paws. His mouth is wide open because the woman's gentle hands open his jaws and hold them apart. The lion has strong teeth, but he cannot bite the woman's hands because she's holding his mouth open with insuperable strength. She does not even have to exert herself. She has such a great strength that she controls the mighty lion easily and without effort. What is the power that is so much greater than the strength of the mightiest of beasts? This power, the strongest power in the world, is the all-overwhelming, all-conquering power of love. Anyone who bears true love in his heart does not need to wear a constant smile on his face. Love is not sentimentality. It's not a matter of feeling good. Love never needs demonstration. Those of us who possess it will prove it by deeds, but we never feel the need to prove it. Love must simply be there as the inner motive for everything that we do. The sun does not have to will the radiation of its light and warmth. It simply radiates light and warmth. The person who is working with the Strength card is radiating love and warmth through which he conquers all, the whole world, even the king of animals, the mighty lion. We all know this lion from our dreams, and as in dreams, the lion depicted here symbolizes the great powers of the body and the two great instincts manifesting themselves through the body. So there are many ways to look at working with tarot cards. I'm not so much into, trying to find out what's going on in the future. But what is important to me is knowing which tarot card symbolizes the season that we are in of the 22 major arcana cards of the tarot. And then working with that, noticing, wow, we've got the Strength card here. I'm actually feeling extra inner strength than I normally do. Wow, how could I use that? How could I embody love without having to run around and do loving things and prove it? I think a lot of us have been raised with the idea that we have to be doormats. We have to put up with toxic behavior. That we have to stick around people through thick and thin, even if they are emotionally or psychologically abusing us. That this is love. But I am inviting you, if you're watching this, to consider that love is actually a state of being, a way that our consciousness is resting inside of ourselves, and doesn't need to be active, doesn't need to be running around and proving itself all the time. It just is. And that part of love that doesn't get enough credit is resting love, self-love, inactive love. And being a victim, being a martyr, putting yourself through people's treatment that's less than kind, you're actually taking away from the side of love that is self-love. And that's a hard thing. If we've been going through our entire life just kind of putting up with people and taking their crap, then thinking about loving ourselves and stepping away feels like we're stepping away from loving that person. But that's not true. You're stepping away from loving that person in a way that's not in alignment, probably. Does this person really deserve these loving acts that you're doing over and over? And withdrawing and retreating into self-love, self-preservation, self-respect, so that you can fill yourself up, get your energy back, and not siphon it off to people who just want to suck it out of you. And then as we build ourselves up with that self-love, self-respect, creating space and boundaries, then we're going to be ready to offer that love, if we need to someone who comes along that really deserves it and needs it. Someone who's really down and out, someone who could really use a friend. We want to be ready and fresh for that person, not for the people that are trying to suck the life out of us. So those are my thoughts on the Lion's Gate and how we can use the Strength card of the tarot to work with inactive or active love. And see how it feels for you this week. Where are you noticing that strength is coming through for you in a bit of a fresh way? And if you're noticing that about yourself and in your life, then you're tuning into the cosmic energies that we have available right now. And the last thing that I would suggest to do, if you're up for it, is on August 8th, 8/8, recognize that day. And if there's something that you've been dreaming into existence or hoping for or wanting to take your next step with, August 8th would be a great day to do it. would be a great day to do it because we have the momentum of extra solar energy during this portal available to us. And that solar energy, it's hard to kind of put into words. It's not physical. They are really teeny tiny radiations that come at us from the cosmos, especially during this portal. And they're hitting our finer, subtle bodies. We don't really feel them on our physical skin, but trust me, they're affecting your astral body, your ethereal body, and giving it extra strength than normal. And when we can pay attention to that, we can allow that to filter into our physical body and into our physical life. So happy Lionsgate portal. And hopefully on August 8th, you've got something that you want to put into action, something that you want to start, something that you want to dedicate the future to, because that would be a great day to do it.